got to pay your dues before it's all cookies and cream. You got to pay your dues before it's all cookies and cream.
Well, hello, my name's Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. Today I've been digging around and I've been thinking about Margaret and I get so I can't even watch a movie or watch anything on TV without my brain just saying what if, what if, what if, what if. So I found myself over in the shop a lot at night, digging out things and looking for stuff and trying to get an idea of where I'm going. I had a couple of different ideas about handlebars. I just had those kind of Z-bars, that wedge bar stuck on there, and I wasn't really using it. Just kind of seeing where it would be, where your seating position would be, etc. And then while I was trying to watch something the other night, I got a brainwave and I thought, you know, I got a lot of stuff hanging from my ceiling and I need a front fender assembly, which I have an idea how I'm going to hook up, and a few other things. So I started digging around. And what I found was an old set of banana bars. Now these bars I'd had on my original knuckle for many, many years. You can see the banana bars are on there. They look pretty cruddy when I got them out. So I thought that I'd take some polish and give them a quick wipe. You know, not as much as if you were going to put them on there for good, but just to see if a lot of the crud would come off. And to my surprise, most of it has. Now, these bars might not be perfect, not by any means. And if somebody wanted to nitpick me and say, oh, there's a little spot of rust on that one, so be it. I was looking at Hippie's white chopper down there, and I was thinking about it. And I really like those Z-bars. I've had them on something before, but I'm not sure that they'll go right between the risers. I think that they would fit in there, but I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to Hip about that. But in the meantime, I started thinking about these old banana bars that I had, and that I had for many years, and I thought, geez, maybe they'll be something good to put on there. So I dug around in the shop in my junk, and sure enough, when I checked, I had these old banana bars hanging up from the ceiling. Now this old mirror's pretty well had it, I think. We'll get another straight one, but I'll give it a little shot there just to see if I cleaned it up at all. Like I say, Margaret doesn't have to be perfect. The point is that when we all rode choppers in the old days, most of us couldn't afford the fancy damn parts, you know, that you seen coming out on a lot of the custom bikes and such. So you ended up working with what you had. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but when you got with your buddies and stuff, it was just plain cool. It was just kind of a neat idea. It was your idea. It was something that you wanted, or maybe it was something you've seen somewhere else and you really, really liked it. But it put your personal taste on your own motorcycle. So today I'm going to go through some stuff. I found an old fender off of I don't know what, but I think it fits a 16-inch wheel, so I'm going to try it on my wheel. I also came across this old fender. Now this old thing, she's pretty dusty. She's been up there forever. And as you can see, it has kind of a weird mount up here. But I like the curvature and the shape. I don't think it's wide enough for the 16, but if I had to cut it and widen it a little bit, I would do that if I can get the right contour going and such. I'm strongly thinking about solid mounting the fender to the swing arm, you know, bolt it down. Make a set of struts, etc., and to make the back part independent from the front part, and probably put a solo seat on it and give that whole thing a lot lower look. Now, if I recall, I've had this for many years, and a friend of mine gave me this, and I think it's off an old Vespa or something like that. It was originally the sidecar wheel fender. But it's, like I say, it's got a nice shape to it, especially in there. So if it was kind of up like that, You can see how it would lend itself really nice on the back end, but just a slight whip. I don't really care for the ducktail that's on there. I was just doing that for looks, but I'm gonna seriously have a look at that. I think that it's for an 18-inch tire, so that may run me into a bit of grief, but the idea is to make it fit. And we're just giving this a quick wipe today so I can set it up, and then I'll have a look at it and see what I can do with it. I could powder coat it black, but like I said, if there's a couple little marks, and that's it, and I can get rid of a lot of it with a little bit of spit polish, I would have no qualms about running these bars. They're old like me, and if I had them in my hands, I'd remember all the good times that I had with Rosie, my knucklehead, for many, many years. So now, as I look around, I know that I'm scouring the ceiling, and I was looking for a particular fender other than this sort of red one here. So as I kind of looked up at the ceiling there, kind of going through some junk that I got, and I have an old fairing and stuff, but lo and behold, way in the back in there, behind that tank, Fat Bob tank, there's the fender I'm thinking of. It has some sort of little bracketry on it already, but I know that I can make something else that will be more applicable to make it fit there. So I'm going to see if I can get it down as well, and then take some things out to the project, out to Margaret, and see what works. There's a bit bigger contour here, but I'm not sure, so I won't know until I try it. But I'm going to give it a quick wipe, and we'll go out and try some things on the bike. Not in bad shape for the shape she's in. Not just not sure about the contour, but we'll take it out and try it. So today I'm just going to start with getting these hand controls off so that we can slide the other bars on, and I think that these are just being held on with these. It's nice to hear all the great comments from people out there that are, maybe working on their own mock-ups, or, giving me their feedback on what they like and they don't like. I guess ultimately she'll turn out being what I like, but I appreciate the input from everybody who takes the time and sharing their past experiences with me, telling me stuff about their bikes and things like that, things that they've done in the past. It's interesting. And I'm thinking today that the old banana bars might just be right. They're classic old vintage risers or handlebars. I know they're vintage because I ran them over 30 years ago. So they're not a knockoff of something like it. They are the original type banana bars. So that's pretty cool. Okay, those out. One neat thing about the old banana bars is this invisible mirror mount. I made those years ago, and I think I got another stainless one in my box, so I might put a pair on. They were designed originally by my hero, Arlen Ness, to give you that really super clean look with no bolts, no nothing, right? What I've actually done is turned down a round piece to go inside the handlebar, threaded it, so that when my screw goes in through this, it's actually going into a thick threaded piece of metal inside, instead of just the thinness of the handlebars, as I've seen things wear out and get floppy after a period of time. A bit of my overkill from way back. So all we've basically done is took a piece of brass or a piece of stainless like that, and we've turned it down to a little tapered shape, and we've put a hole in here for a 1/4 inch Allen, or you can use a smaller one, and you can make sure that fits flush when it's done. Then we've taken the bottom of it and we've just rounded it off to the contour of the handlebars, like so it fits on the handlebar. You drill this out almost all the way, but not all the way, so that we can put a 1/4 inch screw in it, and it will come out the bottom. And then when that sits on your handlebar, You can see how that will go inside. It doesn't need to be that long by any means, but it'll fit right inside there. So what I've gone and done to mount that little mount on there, which is kind of neat, I've made up a little thing like this. And it's a T-bar handle, and it has this little half moon on it. And what we'll do is drill a hole in that and tap it 1/4 inch thread. Then we just take our little half moon and we slide it up in the handlebar. We tighten it on here so that we know where the top of the thread is, so I can tell when I put it in, and we stick it in there to approximately where we want to mount this. And then we drill a 1/4 inch hole in our handlebar so that the thread goes through easily, and thread it right into that piece. And once it's threaded in tight, we can turn this out and it's in there nice and clean. The reason for the half moon design, instead of you wonder why wouldn't you put a whole one in? Well, a lot of the handlebars are dimpled in where the controls go on for your wiring, so a full one wouldn't go in. So you need this kind of half shape in order to clear that. And even if you don't have the dimple type of handlebars, it's nice to go half like that, and you still have room to run your wiring through there if you wanted to do so. So they're a pretty neat little thing, and like I showed you on Margaret there, they mount on your handlebars and they're super clean. I made them probably 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. I still have some kicking around, and I'm going to use them on Margaret because there's one on the banana bars there now, so I think I'll make another one out of stainless if I can't find one, or do a pair in brass. It doesn't really matter. A neat way to invisibly mount your handlebars, and I believe it was an old Arlen Ness trick from years and years and years ago. And like I say, he's my hero, was the king of innovations, and without him a lot of things would have never came past to be, and we would not have learned a lot of stuff. So it's unfortunate that he's gone, but his innovations and his drive to make new things still lives on. All right. Oh, they're gonna fit. They're gonna fit. I'm ecstatic about that. One of those things you will have to stand back and have a look at it and see what you think. But I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it already. Brings back a lot of great memories. Tell you what, line it up with the springer so it's straight. And we'll see where that puts us. May have to shove them ahead a little bit, who knows. Yeah, my risers are not tightened down, so. Yeah, I'm thinking that is what I'm looking for. I'll have to go up. Yeah, probably there. I know I had a piece in here on the end of this to extend it at the time through the years. Now I'll go along and take that off and weld a piece in underneath, plug it, weld it, just to give me the extension that I want. Again, like I say, I kind of like them at about 32, sort of a nice length for me. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, let me see, that would put me about there. Give me room to get at my bleeder and such. I'm not sure, I'm a little on the high side, but when you put a seat on it, your seat's going to bring you up like this. So you're not that far from it. And it does give you the advantage of shoving them forward or backwards. Now lots of times you bolt bars on and you really don't have much adjustment. They sort of go where they go, especially if they're T-bars that are right into the bottoms. But with these, you got a little more ability to go back and forth with them. So even though they appear to be a little bit high right now, I'm going to leave them on there for a bit, and I'm going to have a look at them and see if I like them and see if they grow on me. The only other option I would have is to get a short set of risers to go down in here. Which I could, to drop them down a little bit. But we'll see as the rest of it starts to work out. So I finally got my little wheel done, and as you can see, it gives me a nice little wheel. Now, because of the width of this rim is only 3 inch, I'm running a 100 by 90 on this, which is, you know, still tall sidewall, but the 110 is a lot thinner. And I think this will look just right on the Springer, and it'll bring it down approximately to where I want to go. So, to have a quick look, let me just jack it up a little bit. So I might want to try to slide the brake in as well, so that I can fool with it a little bit. So already I can see it can come down, that's great. Let's bring it down. In there. Let's drop it down some. I'd say that's fixed my problem. Snug that up for a minute so that I can take the weight off the back wheel and see how far we gotta go. So now we've got it cranked right down there. I still got oodles of ground clearance, but once I kick that out a little bit, I'm really digging the little wheel on the front. Reminds me of the old days. We always had a little tiny wheel on the front. Very cool. So I think that's gonna work out all right for me. Now I have a couple fenders that I'm contemplating using, and I've sort of got an idea for a mount. I know this mount is in the way now. Right at 16. Of course, there's always something. There's always something that'll bugger you up that you gotta change a little bit. But now grant you, it will have to come up just a hair, and I think that will help with the looks of the circumference of it. But I could trim it off here and make it like a nice short style fender in the back, in the rear, something like that. And there we're sort of in line with our Springer fork there. So I'm not sure. Maybe something like that. I think that because it's got to come up a little bit, and I would shorten the back up and shorten the front, so at the front about there like that. Let me see if I'm in line with the thing here, which I wouldn't be. So I almost have to go the other way and trim the other end if I go to use this, because it kind of puts me in a spot here where I can make some sort of a mount or something, but I have an idea for that. But that there doesn't look too bad. Now, let's try this one. The contour is right. I will probably use this. Again, my mounts are an issue here, but once I bring it up and get it where I want, I can make the mounts to mount however I want, and I do have an idea for that. So you'd have to be sit so the spoiler is sort of level like that, and to stick out a bit in the front keeps the water out of your eyes, and I know that. So I don't know, it's a bit of functionality versus what you really want the look to be like. But again, if this one's lifted up a little bit, you're still covering the tire. If you put the stock sort of system on, they have something that kind of goes up like that, and I really don't like that. So I plan to attach this to the front leg some way. There are little clamps, but I got a different sort of idea up here for something that I might take a serious look at, just to make something a little custom here that comes out and bolts to it in two places to hold it solidly. Not sure on that. The first thing is seeing if you got fit and finish the way you want it, right? I'm kind of liking that. Not too bad. Let's just go back and have a look. Yeah, that's kind of getting there. I don't know. Changing the handlebars certainly changes the look, that's for sure. And I just want something small on the front. But like I say, I know from past experience, if you don't cover that fender up, you'll get a stream of water up between your eyes off this front wheel. Now that it's spinning this way, we should be okay. So it should stop a certain amount of it, but it will, if you don't have something out here, it will, if you chop it here, the water will start to go up like that and it'll blow right back in your face. Not sure, I like the little spoiler on it. What do you think? Or something more like that. Let's see, it's only got to be up an inch from it. It'll still be enough out front to stop it and get it where you want it. I'm sort of getting partial to this one, although I can cut the other one off if I thought that I wanted to shorten the nose up. It'd be more like that look. Then I still end up with it sort of bobbed here at the back. And we just kind of round it off here so it doesn't look like it sticks out so far in the front. Decisions. So something that I have to do now is kind of slide my front brake on. I'll have to get my little pieces so I can put the spring-loaded piece in the brake and that, and set it up, and then I'll see what kind of wild and wonderful things I'm going to run into trying to hook that up to the front, and that'll have a bearing on the fender as well. But I'm thinking I can use the original mount, which is what I'm hoping to do with the 16. I'm pretty sure there's enough space in there to run that fat brake, but we'll see. I'll get the pieces and we'll have a look. So what we're going to try to do is just pull the axle out enough. I could take it right in, actually. Make my life a little bit easier. That's it. Okay. There we go. That one will work. And I'm just going to stick a couple bolts in it. My wife keeps telling me I gotta purge stuff, but times like this, and I'm glad I didn't. Okay, should be able to take that brake. Let's see how close we are with the axle spacer. Looks to be pretty damn close. Let's see, we can get this on. This original mount here, original type fender setup. It's not right, so we're just going to take that off for the moment. We may have to find something else to hook that up. I can go this way with it. Okay. Fortunately, we still have enough room here for our original brake, which would be great. I can also use something up top there for, you know, a mount to stabilize the fender if I want. I'm going to be able to use the bar. I just need to use a little different bolt. I can't get it in from the other side, I don't think. So I've got a little one here I can use temporarily. Slide that back on that one. And I can shorten that stud up about 3 or 4 threads. And that will give me the stabilizer for my front brake. So I'm pretty pleased with that. My whole brake assembly is up on here, and with no interference and mounting just the way that it should mount on there. So it looks great. It's lined up good. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. So figuring out where to go with the rear fender can often be a chore. Now, this is a swing arm bike, and I'm not going to strut it to lower it down because our roads are horrendous, unlike you hippie down there cruising around on flat glass. But you have to sort of try different things, and I'm not sure which way I want to go. I might want to put a double seat on it, in which case I'll have to use the fender support struts, in which case I would also get them black powder coated so they wouldn't look as bad. Or I can go down and put a solo seat on it and bring the back fender right down very close to the tire. I can't really go with a smaller profile tire, but some of the different tires are different. I could, but I don't really want to go down that route. But I know if I dropped it 2 inches, shorter shocks, That will really probably get me down where I want to go. So, I'm just going to pop this out of here because I just had one hole. Yeah, this is the wide ass end of the fender, which is really nice. I like that. I'm expecting it to be a little narrow, but not very much, you know. So I mean, this could be cut and trimmed so that it will go down in there. She's not just enough for the 16, which would go in there, but the profile's not quite right. But I think with a bit of cutting and bending, a person may be able to shrink that down enough. I don't really want it back down there anyway. You know, I really like to have it, you know, cut this thing off so that the back will roll down on the fender. Now, other than these little fender spots that are stuck out, if I flatten those and bring them out, likely the fender's going to sit pretty good. I can find a happy medium of a line there, which isn't too awful bad, really. And the contour might be off a little tiny bit, but just not sure about that. Like I said, I really like the tip. This has got to be up here. That, I think, is the whole problem. You know, if this is sitting up and then going down on it, hard to fit it without cutting it. But I've had the fender for many years, and I've been saving it for a project, but I don't know if this is the one. See, she's about the right width back here. It's just nice. That's the width that I would want to have. So I think if I split it through here and put a wedge piece in it, a triangular shaped piece in it, get it cut off so I know where I want it, where it's going, and then I put a triangular piece in it to make this consistent width, then it's going to look all right. And if I mount it right down low, hard down to it, I could still go a bit this way with it. And if I turn it a little bit this way, I think I can get this lip just about coming out where I want. I don't want to ducktail up like the other fender I had, but I really like this. But I think if I cut a wedge and roll a piece of metal down through there, it should widen that out and make a nice fender. Fortunately, like I say, I can't slide it down. I can't slide it down because of the width of these. Something has to be done with that. I guess the starting point would be is try to beat that out and see where we are from there. Again, the big decision is if I'm going to put a buddy seat on this. You know, I do have a king and queen. That would sort of suit it with the high bars and the springer and stuff like that, but I'm not sure right yet. So we'll have to try a few things. And like I say, I've had this for a long period of time. It only sort of adapted itself to a rigid, but it would look some clean on there, wrapped around and smooth. And you eliminate the struts. Rid of that, just put a little seat on it. Now, I have had a lot of people voice that they like the fat bob tanks on it, and I do if I kept a low kind of bar on it. But with the higher bar, I'm almost thinking they should come up a little bit. So I could pull these up and be on a slight bit of an angle here, just to get a little bit of shape to it. And I might do that and try, but we have to be conscious of in underneath here, that as I pick the front up, the back's going to tip down, and there's not a whole lot of clearance in there for the rocker boxes. So that would entail making a different tab in the back. So it's a move one thing, change three more, such as the way the game goes. So far, so good. Like I say, I'm really happy with the 16 on the front. And once I get it raked out some on the front end there, I think it's going to look cool as shit. Like I say, we always ran small wheels in the old days. Let me see what I got. Here's kind of a shot from the old days, you know, with the little wheel way out quite a ways in the front here. So it's that sort of look that was really common. Again, with something small on the front of it, kind of gives you a different sort of look. But there's a shot from the old days. You can see the banana bars are on there, and the wheel was stuck way out in front again. A little small wheel on there, so I am sort of partial to them. And I think when the front end's raked out, you know, it's going to give me like 4.5 degrees out there. Of course, we'll have to do the rake and trail and see where I'm running there. Right now, it's not where it should be. I'm pretty sure. But again, we're raked back so far that you have to bring it out, you know, 2 inches from there, from where it is. And there's still, I would say, a couple inches of trail there. When the time comes, we'll have to get set up and do the proper calculations and see where I'm at. But I'm very comfortable with it. It's not like we're raking the neck way out. And if I found I'm a little bit short, I still have the option I can put 3-degree trees in there, will give me another 3. But that's something that I think I would wait and drive it, see the way it is, and see how it handles. You know, it's not that big a job. If I plan ahead, putting the front end on to make it easy to take off with my wiring and everything, then if I find I want to swap it over and try it, I can do that as well. So, but right now, I'm liking that. And I think if I trim this little black fender off about here, so that it has the look of the other one, I think it'll go good too. So as you can see, there's a lot of variables. I think with, I think actually it's sitting just right now. You know, I really don't know if I need 2-inch drop in the shocks. So what I'll do is pull the shocks off, drop the frame down 2 inches, and have a little better look at that. But I do want this bike to be functional and roadworthy, and something that's fun to drive and cool to look at. And I think we got a good start on it. And as I said before, I'm bringing back a lot of memories with these old banana bars. Slide this grip in to have a look. I don't know whether I can from here or not, but I'm thinking about another little mirror mount like this. Might be just ideal for it. You know, right there. If I can get it, probably have to go close to the end in order to clear the master cylinder there. Nice to get them to match up though. A little bit of fool and a little bit of cutting. I think you can make it fit, and then you'd have a pair of them up there like that. Yeah, I'm thinking those bars are going to be what I like. They should be just about right. And you know, I could go with the King and Queen on the back, would look pretty cool with the sissy bar. Lower it down a couple inches, throw that on it. That would probably do it. Like I say, we're a little bit high now, so that if we drop it down a couple inches, that'll about bring us where we want to be. So I think that's what we'll look at. Still not quite sure about the fender. I think the fender will just be, if I go for a solid mount, a rear fender and like a solo seat, I will probably do something with that fender because it's got a nice contour to it. It's a double lip rolled old style fender. It's very tough, and just by putting a piece in the center of it, a little bit of cutting, I think it'll we can shape it in there to fit just nice. But for now, I'm liking this. Yeah, buddy. I'm thinking that is it. Like I say, I don't like to lean ahead. I like to be sitting back, so I'm okay. So there's lots of trials and tribulations of things to do. I could just slap some things together and be a 5-minute job, but the whole thing about this bike was to try and build something out of it and to give me a little chance to fool with some things. Yes, I'm not going to go overboard like I have with some past customs. As I say, it's a road bike, and it's going to be built to run on the road, but look very cool at the same time. So, and hopefully she'll be good for many years to come. All right, that's where we're at today. So I know I have a little advantage here because I have a lot of junk lying around. You know, it's not like you went out and just bought it all. It's 35 years of accumulating stuff and keeping stuff and keeping things that you like and hoping that someday you can put that on something else because it brought you a lot of joy at the time. That's probably the reason you kept the part. And these bars, for example, are just a prime example of it. So we've got a lot of other things to go through, and I'm all the time accumulating new parts for Margaret, and I think it's going to be great. My front wheel, 16-inch, not a 17, my mistake, but it's going to work just fine. So I will look into maybe dropping the ass end a little bit, and just out of curiosity's sake, see what I can get for a smaller profile tire a little bit. that might fit in there a little better and give me another inch or so. I want to keep the thing down low. That's the plan. I know the bars are setting it up quite a bit higher, but what a comfortable riding position it is. It's just perfect for me. So we'll keep you abreast of what's happening. We'll keep you in tune with Margaret. And there's so many things to do. There's so much more motor work to do. I got to rebuild the transmission. But getting a head start on some of this stuff is always also very time consuming as well. So it takes time. I'm going to get a new neck for this so it'll kick out three, bring it back out to a straight 30 with my neck. That'll give me about 4.5 degrees. I think that's going to drop it down a little bit more. Maybe with the 2-inch shocks, I get it down, 2-inch shorter shocks possibly. I get it down a little bit farther. But for now, I'm happy with where it's going and how it's looking and how it's progressing. I've spent enough nights thinking about stuff that maybe now I can sit down, put my feet up and watch a movie and not be thinking about Margaret and about Armageddon, my other toy in there, and my other trike. I got a lot of things on my plate. But I've been racking my brain about a lot of these items and digging them out today and trial fitting them on there and everything else. I mean, it's great fun for me. I really enjoy it. Yes, I'm looking at some more work to make the rear fender the way I want it and mount the front fender the way I want it. I got some ideas to keep it kind of independent there, but we'll see how that goes as it goes along. Other than that, I'm really happy with the way it's going, so stay tuned. There's more to come. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps us to grow. Be sure to check out my brothers down south, Hippie's Chopper Corner and Slick Ed's Custom Cycles. Both of them guys got different content on the go, and I'm sure you'll enjoy to see what's going on. Hippie's the home of the sketchy choppers, and Slick's just got a whole raft of beautiful antique bikes that he works on and plays with all the time. I'm a bit jealous now because I see Hip still like driving, and we're in the snow here, as you can see, and it's just starting. But that's the way it goes. It's build season. Let's get at it. All right, we'll see you on the next video. And check out what's coming next week.